And let's you jump into maybe get some different references, or maybe just tickle your toes and get things rolling for the future. Because well, you still can identify plants in the wintertime, you know, whether it's buds or scale scars or all kinds of fun things that you can do for that. So there are still things you can eat out there and forage for, but it's just a little bit more difficult in the winter. So you can be a hobbyist, or anybody can do this. Everybody see that, or it looks like it's just a great time to just get outdoors and enjoy nature and see what it has. Hopefully, am I standing? Maybe I'll move around if you can. Okay, yeah. So we'll get some of the things some things I'm just gonna go briefly over, because a lot of it's in if you look in your manuals, it'll tell you a lot of these things that are how to identify plants and what to look for. You know, whether it's the leaf type or structure, the leaf venation patterns, that would be the little veins and netted venations or dichotomous, the leaf shape. All these things are very critical as far as how to identify, because when you're identifying plants, mostly herbaceous plants or whatever you're looking at, it's always good to know what you're looking at. And sometimes there's imposters out there. They look alike. They're very similar to something. They might be in the same family. So there's a lot of them that are, oh, is this really what I think it is? So that's the one thing you have to, if you look at all these characteristics, then that helps you identify it much easier. And some plants are very definitive, or they have very distinct characteristics that are very, it's like, oh, of course, that's whatever, like horse chestnut or whatever. Leaf arrangements, how the leaves are attached to the stem or the cork cambium. You know, is it a whorled? And we'll look at that. And then, of course, some of the things, where do I start? And we'll look at some of the examples of that, and then resources and information. First of all, just a quick, I'm gonna run through this pretty quick. If you have any questions, or if you want to stop me, this is so informal. I have no problem with interjecting. So, leaves, simple versus compound. Simple, they're basically, are they lobed? Are they divided? You know, does it have a distinct, or is it like a simple picture, like your hand? Is it like that, or is it like webbed with a center, which would be a compound leaf, with has. I'll show you the best picture anyway. So here we have a simple leaf, and then if you look at the stem, I don't know if this is gonna. Oh, this laser doesn't work on the TV. But if you look right here, this is where the node would be. So it'd be here, and this would be pinnately compounded and palmately compounded. So palmately compounded might be like buckeye, horse chestnut, marijuana. Simple, everything from dogwood to birch to popple, all that would have a simple leaf. Staghorn sumac, of course, that's compound. There's horse chestnut there. So those are things like how are the leaves attached to whatever you're looking at. Quaking aspen, hazelnut, simple. So compound and simple. Those are it's either one or the other. Dicots, as far as the leaf venation patterns, you're gonna have dicots and monocots. Monocots, they have all the veins on the plant are going parallel, like corn, like sedges, things like that. Dicots would be just like the quaking aspen and such. This netted venation, all your other three ones. So just looking at and these are the different types of leaf venation. I'll just read through them, or you can read them too. Parallel, pinnate, palmate, and then cross-venulate, longitudinal, and reticulate, dichotomous, rotate, and then accurate. And then if you go into more detail, they actually show all of how the veins are. So in most of your identification books will talk about these characteristics, or depends on how complex the identification book is. But if you get more really in depth, you start looking at everything, like terminal bud scale scars and bundle sheaths and bundle scars, and you can go wacko crazy, especially in winter ID. But just to keep in mind, what you're kind of looking at. Parallel venation. Can anybody see where it is on this? You kind of see the top right, how those the venation. If you it's not really good. I mean, I know it because I don't know what to look for, but those cattail would be parallel. Anybody know what that little plant is in the front? Maybe not. That's beach pea. Yes, I see them all over Lake Superior and sand dunes, and those are edible too. So even late, it doesn't matter. But yeah, so there's all kind of fun stuff there. I see those in the Apostle Islands kayaking, and then of course leaf shapes. I'm not going to go through them because there's tons of them out there. As far as are they lobed? Are they linear? Are they ovate? So are they oblique? Are like certain types of oak will have a deep sinus gap that the leaf would look like this, but this sinus gap would go really deep, like bur oak, or also called mossy cup oak. So there's all kinds of things out there that are unique to the vegetation that you're looking at. This would be like a willow, would be a more linear shape. I didn't put too many slides of the shapes of the leaves in there. But trifoliate, it's so funny because sometimes I look at this and I always forget the common names. We just memorize it by the genus and species. So sometimes I'll say, oh yeah, that's Acer nigundo. And it's like, oh, what's the common name? Oh, potash maple, box elder, kind of like Populus tremuloides, right? Everybody knows what that is, right? Or how about Betula papyrifera, which is the white birch, paper birch, or canoe birch. So if I use a common name like paper birch, white birch, canoe birch, it's all the same tree. But when I say Betula papyrifera, oh yeah, now I know what you're talking about, because depending on the region, there's a lot of common jargon what people call this plant or something else. But most of the ID books out there are pretty bulletproof. So sometimes you get in plant slang and all that other stuff. So, oh yeah, what about the one on the right? Does that look familiar? Uh-huh. There it is up close. This is one of my favorites. I love that. I mean, that's just a blanket, almost like an acre of poison ivy. And we have actually I always forget, 9 species of poison ivy in the United States. So there's a lot of different variation out there. Yeah. So it's good to know what it is. If you don't eat it, but it's out there. But you might encounter it when you're looking or foraging, and it's yeah. And there's different. Some it looks, kind of shiny. This might be wet. I can't remember when I took that. I think it was raining, so it looks a little shinier. But sometimes I'll cheat. I'll just clip a box elder. Pretend it's poison ivy because it kind of looks like it, because they're both trifoliate. But so you just kind of play around with people too. So it's just important to know what you're looking at or what to avoid. That's important too. So not only the leaf shape, but the arrangement. So most of the time, what you'll see most common out there is alternate or opposite, but then you'll see whorled and spiral. So that's how the leaves are arranged on the stem. Are they alternating? Are they completely opposite, like your arms, or are they a spiral, like a spiral staircase? So that's one thing to look at too. The question is, where do I start? I don't know. Let's say I don't know anything about plants. Well, you can start. There's lots of different things out there. Whether it's if in this case, I would start with edible wild plants. So you could start with there, and then there's different herbaceous plants and weeds. Weeds are good because there's a lot of ones you can eat. So there's a lot of, and everything from wetlands to beaches, and then they have winter twig identification, so you can see different times of the year. And lots of times these books will also tell you when the best time to harvest or collect these plants. So you're going to see this like, oh yeah, I got that in my yard, or that's in my driveway. It's like, yeah. Does anybody recognize that plant? It's a weed. Pineapple weed. Yeah. So they're all over. So when you go out, whether you're walking wherever you're walking, I mean, you see all these things that are actually edible, and you can make different teas, and you can. One thing to keep in mind on especially wild plants is that when you eat them in moderation. Okay, so too much of a good thing is not good. Typically, and it comes to edible wild plants. So just eat them in moderation on almost everything. So no matter what. And this is oh, I love this one. I actually got cut two of them in there. Well, you see the dandelion on the far side, but the one in the front is what I really wanted to take a look at. Plantain. Yeah, so you can eat the leaves and the seeds. There's and a lot of things like the forage books, they'll tell you how to prepare it and how to collect it, and they might even have recipes in there. And so if you want, and also if you go on to YouTube or whatever, some different sites online, people post a lot of things on edible wild plants, especially if you're in the Northwest area that would be that you would be able to find here in Wisconsin, northern Wisconsin. So, because sometimes the books are written from the Midwest or maybe sometimes the nation. So it's like, oh yeah, we don't have that here, or very rarely. So recognize that one? Another weed? Ha! Uh-huh. So just like this one, don't overconsume this one. Okay? But yeah, it does have the omega-3 fatty acids and magnesium and calcium. So there are good, and a lot of these are good in salads or just eating plain. Sometimes when you pick this stuff up and eat it and people look at you like you're from outer space, they're like, where? Yeah, it's just, yeah. Another one, this is just common. I think I took the carpet weed. Oh yeah, one thing too is that the more you know and the more you become familiar with it, is some things are not edible until you cook it. So just keep that in mind. So it's like, if you're not comfortable with that, then it's okay not to eat it. Let's see if I have one of those on here. Anybody? Well, this is overripe, but anybody recognize that? I know it's not a great picture. Well, I wish it was a little bit bigger screen, but this is. It could, or well, maybe I don't know about the video, but it's asparagus. Asparagus grows. I see it driving all over. I mean, I know a patch of asparagus right on the side of the road, like 3 blocks from here. So it grows all over. After it reaches the spear stage where it seeds, and yeah, just stay away from it. Don't eat it. Okay. It's just only when it's young and is the best time. And the roots, they can grow deep. So it's like, sometimes you just can't get rid of it, which is okay. You can eat it raw or cooked. Oh yeah, lance quarter. Mm-hmm. Yep. So there's some things, and lots of times on some things too is that when you're looking at some plants, they say to steep it. Don't boil them all the time. Okay. So that's in a lot of the recipes out there. Like if you're like, say, white pine, if you want to have white pine tea, they say don't boil it, but just put it in very hot water for 10 minutes or so, and then take it out. I used to make a staghorn sumac lemonade, and that way you just put in cold water. But yeah, we really have 3 kinds of sumac here. We got staghorn, smooth, and poisonous. But I've yet to see poisonous sumac in here. They say it's around, but I've never seen it here. Oh yes, this one you might want to wear pants if you're going to be running through it. I love nettles. I mean, I love eating nettles. So stinging nettles. So these are the ones that you can touch them with the back of your hand and not feel any sting, but when you touch them with the side of the palm, then it's like little fuzzy slivers, and yeah. So if you want to have a dare, just have somebody just run through a shorts on and see how much fun they have. So just wear gloves when picking them if you want. But yeah, the young leaves are you can eat them, raw or dry or cooked. So very good. Oh, running through the woods, it's like, oh, they stinking pickers, it's like stuck to the dog, stuck to my pants, my bootlaces, everything. So burdock, yeah. So these are always good to eat the first year if you can. The older they get, it's not so great. But yeah, they're best picked in spring, eaten young. They're good in salads. I wish I took this late in the fall, or I don't remember when I took it, but it didn't have the berries on it. It's what? Nope. Yeah, it's bunchberry.
Oh, okay.
Bunchberry will have the red cluster of berries on coming out mid vein right there. So I should change that slide picture and with a stock picture or something. So, but yeah, so you can eat the berries and the central seed. So most of the time they're ripe in the summer. So and you can make them into a jelly or syrup or jam. Of course, then we have the common weed that one of the first ones to pop up in your yard, dandelions, and you can eat every part of the dandelion, which is great. So a lot of people will make eat the flowers, the buds, the leaves. You can put them all times of the year. Sometimes people will take the flower and they'll make dandelion flower fritters. You can put it in dough, and you can put all kinds of seasoning. You can either make it really rich with syrup or maple syrup, and then and make it almost like a donut, or you could put it in more entree. So you can do all kinds of fun things with that. I think I just read not too long ago, I think it said something, if you're eating these fritters with that, if you're on blood thinners, they recommend that you don't eat them. So there are some do's and don'ts, but yeah, just moderation. You'll probably be just fine. You can use the roots and roast them. You can make tea or coffee substitute. I picked this one all summer long. I love it. They used to call this a cure for scurvy. So very high in vitamin C. Anybody recognize it? Yellow wood sorrel. Okay, it's very, very high. I'll go do a job and I'll walk to as I'm walking to my van, I'll pick it up and I'll eat it because it's actually kind of a sweet and sour all at the same time. It's really unique. It looks a lot like clover if you kind of blow it up, but it's not. And it usually has flowers all the time, so it's pretty easy to identify. And you just taste it, and if it tastes a little bit tart or sour, like good sour, then you got the right thing. So here's a common thing. This is anybody recognize that? I just know equisetum, which is also called horsetail. So, or some people call it scouring rush. There's all kinds of different things out there. You can eat the stems and the roots. So there's two different shapes out there. Typically, what we have around here, the stems, they grow like shoots, like I don't know, like horsetail. And then the other one's more like a horsetail, like bushy. Some people use it for washing pots and pans. It's also called scouring rush. I mean, there's all kinds of things, but it's edible out there. You'll see it. So this one, somebody said it earlier, I think. Wintergreen. Yeah, wintergreen. Yep. So you'll see it out there running around in the woods. You can be great. I mean, it'll have that spearmint kind of thing. But if you're allergic to aspirin, you might not want to eat this. Okay. So yeah. So and there's also, I forget what plant it is. I just read it the other day too, and it's like if you're allergic, if you have a latex allergy, like latex gloves, there's some plants you shouldn't eat. So that's why knowing what you're going to consume is always best. So, anybody recognize sweet fern? Those are all over. Yep. So Actually, I think that, is it the sweet? No, that's tansy I'm thinking of. This one I see a lot around Lake Superior primarily, and more like towards Ironwood or North Ashland, Fossil Islands. When I picked this one, thimbleberry. Yeah, people will get, oh, it's like, oh, look at those raspberries. Like, look like a raspberry, but they're not a raspberry. In fact, the berries are about as big as your thumb, and when you pick them, they turn to mush. They don't stay as rigid as raspberries. So you put them in the bucket, they go, and they have a natural pectin in it. And so if you make a jam out of it, you don't need to buy Sure-Jell or any kind of pectin. You can make it without it. And it has its own natural pectin, and it's actually one of my favorite jams. They're hard picking. They grow so tall I can walk underneath the bushes. Like, hey, look, there's one up there. Well, usually it's up to my chest when I'm walking through the things, and it's usually pretty thick. But I love them. Yeah, they're great. Of course, we have thistle. Yep, all that stuff. Believe it or not, most flowers that you encounter in the wild, most are edible. Okay, so just keep that in mind, but not. So you can eat the roots, and you can eat different parts of the leaves, and of course, then there's another one here. This is actually growing on a shrub or a tree. This tree can grow up to 30 to 40 feet tall. Anybody recognize Juneberries? Yeah, Juneberries. Don't get confused because of the name. They're not ripe in June. They're usually ripe 1st of August, right around blueberry season. So end of July, I usually start picking them. The red ones, you can pick the red ones, but they're better when they're more purplish, bluish, more purple. They turn purple, but I love them. I just eat them all day. People count, they say, oh, those are choke cherries. Nope, they're not choke cherries. The elusive cattail. Okay, great. So you can do all kinds of things with cattails. Especially, you can eat the rhizomes, which are the roots. So you can just pull them out early, and the early shoots, pull them out, and then you can just strip them, and then you can usually about 10 inches long. And then if you're flexible, keep going to the center of them. I wish I would have. One of these days I should put a picture of how much to chop off. Of course, then also if you eat the flowers or don't eat the section, you eat the female section, because the top part's the male section, the bottom part's the female section. So and they'll tell you in the different types of the books, but the roots are good. Pollen, you can also harvest the pollen, and you can actually use it as a flower substitute. So you just have to get it right there, when you shake it, not in the fall of the year where the seeds pod is, but when you shake that part and all the pollen's falling off, you can collect it, and then you can use it as a flower substitute, or even 2/3 pollen, and it's more of a earthy, a fruity taste. Is different. And then you can just, there's all kinds of things you can do with it. But yeah, there's lots of stuff out there that you can just run into. Nope, these are bigger. I mean, and they seem like thorns, but they're really not thorns. Like they're not buckthorn or these are wild plums. Yep. So there they are, wild plums. Sometimes I just pick them off the ground because they fall on the ground, because I missed picking them off the tree, or you just shake the tree and they all fall down, and you just pick them up. And the nice thing about that is don't eat the seeds, because there is arsenic in the seeds. So, but if you make a jam or a jelly, you can save the skin, and you can make a fruit roll-up out of it. And those are actually good too. So you can use all of it except for the seed. Yeah, they're easy to, and usually that's in the fall, right when school starts. A great time. I see them all over too. I mean, I drive a lot, so I was like, oh, look at that. So I see a lot of stuff out there. Yeah, I mean, I have any pictures of oh, yeah, I wish I took this in the fall of whenever. These are heart-shaped leaves. Tilia americana is a common name that I know. basswood, American basswood. So if you look at the little the seed pods there, those are, you can actually crack them open, and there's tiny little seeds in there. You can, there's not a lot of seeds. I mean, it's like very small, but it's almost like pennycress. So, but they're kind of a neat little seed, and they're, even in the wintertime you can eat them if you find them. Yep. But you can also eat the leaves too. But grab the smaller leaves, not the, because some basswood, I mean, they get, some of them get pretty big, so you don't have to go crazy. Just eat the smaller ones. And you can eat the buds too. One thing's not to eat. We have a lot of invasive stuff. This is everywhere over Sora County. It drives me nuts. And there's different ways to get rid of it, and it's just an invasive. It's buckthorn. The reason I put that on there, it's like, oh, look at these berries. They look so delicious. No, do not eat them. Okay? They look good. They're invasive. They are poisonous. The berries are. So the best time to get rid of them is before the berries. Okay? Because then when that's all their seeds, and then they distribute, and then they grow back. And if you do cut them down, there's different things you can put on them, and different chemicals, or you can put a black bag over it for 2 years, and they'll kill it. Another one, that one looks really good. I mean, does anybody have this in their yard? Between garages, fence lines, very common around here. I see it all the time. Not good to have it around for kids. I put that up there just so you see what it looks like. They kind of look like the leaf of a potato, but the flowers look really nice. They're kind of bell-shaped, purple, and then the berries, they'll turn green, and then then they'll eventually turn kind of yellow, and then the red, and then they'll turn into a purple. So they look really good to consume. Birds can eat them, people cannot. Okay, so some things you might get blurred vision, headache, vomiting, diarrhea, or possible. Very rarely on this one. There is another nightshade out there that is more poisonous than this one, but this one is what I mostly see around here. So very rarely does it cause death here. It gets me really sick, but it is possible, especially with children. So I usually pluck it. Wear gloves is the best way to get rid of it. So I know I went pretty fast. There's a lot of information out here. Let's see if there's anything else that I have that I could. Yeah, I know I was trying to keep on the time schedule. I can stick around later too if you want to see any. I can pass them around too. There's different manuals or IDs, or there's lots of stuff out there and lots of references. There's I like one of the better ones that I like. What is it? Oh, there it is. Yeah, it's called the Foragers and Harvest. It's an edible wild plant book. This one is written by Samuel Thayer. It's a really good. It tells you all kinds of different, and it's in color too. I love things in color. I'm a very pictorial guy. It's like, I love pictures. And then they'll tell you how to prepare it, when to collect it, and then if you, it's like, what is that? What do they call a Stylostigma stamen? Well, they have all the definitions in the back, and they'll have pictures, and they even go into what stomata, lenticels, because some seem like cherry have horizontal lenticels. So there's different characteristics that they talk about in the book. But yeah, any kind of forager's harvest of edible wild plants is very good. Yep. Any questions? Anything?
Horseradish, wild horseradish. Is that exist on here? I have a friend that said I got all this wild horseradish.
That's a good question. I haven't encountered it. Sometimes I run into wild leeks, maybe, or it's probably there. But to be honest with you, I don't like horseradish, so I don't even care to identify it. My dad would have it in the garden. I wouldn't eat it. It's like, that can stay in the garden. Good question. Last times I consume it right away. I suppose you could probably pickle it. Maybe. I don't know. Like onions, you can, that'd probably be all right. Uh-huh. Yeah. We should do one in the spring, Gary.
Yeah.
Or in the summer we can run around and do like a field trip.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, hey, just listening to Charlie. Last time he was here, we had. Trying to think, I saw it, like creeping Charlie is one of those weeds that's all over our yard, and he mentioned that was edible, and so Michelle and I went out and we got it all over our yard. We actually put it in our salad, and it was good.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff out there that
Yeah, there are. There's a lot of stuff. And that night we learned a lot of our weeds are actually good to eat. So we started to do that.
yeah, the more you look, the better you can find things and identify it. And then it's like, then it becomes second nature. It's like, oh yeah, look at that. It's Lycopodium dendridium or whatever.
All right, no other questions?
I just thought it was interesting you mentioned books. They're really edible.
Yes, a lot of the times you can eat different. Sometimes, sure. Well, yeah, that does not bother me. They even like cattails. Somebody, oh my gosh, you're eating cattails with contaminated swamp water, and it's like, okay, whatever, you know. I mean, maybe in certain areas, if there's a industrial plant dumping stuff in there, I'm not going to go there and eat it. Or if they're spraying, pesticides all over the roadside or whatever, just be aware of where you're picking it, you know.
Your thing you were talking about.
Yeah, a lot of things eat. Yeah, just eat it. Yeah, you can eat a lot of the stuff raw or steep it or cook it or boil it. One thing, actually, I thought I used to have a slide. In the springtime, one of the first things you see is what? Cowslip, or also called marsh marigold. That's one that if you eat it raw, it's poisonous. But if you cook it, you can eat it. So it's like, why would I want to do that? Well, you can, but when you cook it, you have to cook it for about 20 to 40 minutes, decant the solution and cook it some more, decant the solution, cook it again, and it turns into a green, slimy pudding. So if you want to have a great guest meal for all your friends, cook that up. It's like, what is it? It's manna. I don't know. It's like, yeah, but there's some stuff on it. Like, I ate some stuff I was in Finland and we were eating some stuff. I was like, man, this is nasty. But I had a Swedish Army was training us on some stuff, and it's like, wow, this is great. It has so much tannin in it. We had to build a fire and put the ashes into the food to dilute it. It's like, oh yeah, sign me up. But yeah, so it's fun stuff out there. But it's knowledge is power, and just learning and becoming comfortable what you're looking at. So it's a starter out there, and I've been doing it for years. I have a plant science major, and not that you have to have any kind of, you can just be a hobbyist, but I'm not an expert by any means, but it's just fun to get out and look at stuff. Yeah.
Great. Well, thank you, Charlie. And again, any of the books up here, take pictures of them. Or again, you